men's sexuality can be like a prison. One of the top things that has created sexuality for as a prison for men is pornography. And what it's done is, because there's so much of it now and so much available, so easily available for men, and men get trapped in that world of pornography because maybe they don't have an intimate sexual relationship with somebody, or maybe they do and it's not going in the direction that they want and they're not able to express what they want. And this is just so visual. Men are very visual, and there's this pornography that's just anything you want to see is literally available to watch. And it gets in, you get into this trap of the mind believing and starting to think that this is what intimacy and sexuality is about. And it has trapped a lot of men in this place. And there's a lot of addiction around pornography, but also just a lot of um, holding men from being able to feel anything anymore. It's all like, well, this is how it's supposed to be. I want to see it like this. I want her to be more like that. Why is she not doing it like this? This is what it's supposed to be. Like, this is how it's supposed to feel. It's supposed to be more dramatic. It's supposed to be more this. She's supposed to sound like that. I'm supposed to do that. So it's really created a constricted view of sexuality. This moves into, and this is probably before even that, are the old beliefs that are still being held on to. And although for you part you talked about a little bit about that, but that the old belief that men are supposed to know what to do around sexuality. Women are supposed to wait for men to lead. So you grow up not really having any kind of sexual education from your parents. You're not learning about what sex is really all about, not learning how to explore sexual energy, nothing. I mean, how much education did you have around sexuality growing up? Either of you?
Very, very basic. This is insert slot A into right B, the sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Or abstain from sex. Abstain, right?
Right.
I mean, it's changed. It is changing. It is changing now in some places more than others, but there is
My
still,
experience is a little bit different from that,
yeah.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was still very confusing. I mean, there was much more open talk about sex in my household and in my school, in fact. But
Okay.
I found it extremely uncomfortable, and I don't know. I couldn't say, why it was not done right, or if it was not done right, or anything like that. All I knew was it just made me feel very, very uncomfortable when the adults talked to me about sex.
Mm. Yeah. Well, and I guess there's this certain ways of presenting sex, and they were probably quite uncomfortable talking about it. I mean, it's still very new in the sense of the generations coming through are you have to if you're going to talk about sex, you have to be really grounded and comfortable in order for other people to feel comfortable about sex. And I've met many teachers that are teaching sexuality, and there was still this like lingering fear in themselves and misunderstanding about what sex is all about. But besides that, I mean, that is changing too. And but I want to talk about sort of the root beliefs that exist that, and I still see it in generations that are coming in, is that the boy, the man, is supposed to know what to do sexually, and without any information, is supposed to understand the woman's body, the girl's body, the woman's body. And she's kind of waiting for him to do something, waiting for him to please her. And really, he knows nothing. And she is completely disconnected from being able to tap into her own sexuality, into her own body, and to her own pleasure. So it's put men in this prison of um, what has also happened is that men are afraid then to step out of that because they have been brought up to believe that I'm supposed to know. I'm supposed to know this. Like, why don't I know this? Why don't I really understand all of this? I'm supposed to. I'm the man here. I'm supposed to know this. So it's really confined that ability to like get have men be able to like push the boundaries beyond that box. I'll break open the box actually and say, I'm going to learn. I'm going to start to learn what this is all about. Like really learn about it. Um, Now there's also this whole aspect of men being put into this prison of not being able to express their emotions, telling them to, to be stoic beings, to hold what they're really feeling, not allowing men to show their deeper feelings and emotions without them feeling. I mean, there's this whole element of shame that comes in here without them being put down or feeling like that they're not good enough, that what they have to say is not allowed, that nobody wants to hear it, and that they should just hold all of this in. So it's like the constriction of all this information being held in the body and not being able to express it openly. Where women have had that ability to be more emotional. But then they've also been looked at like they're hysterical, being emotional. But men have really been like, no, these are some of the old beliefs that again are this sort of ground that we've been walking on. And luckily it's crumbling, luckily it's crumbling. And yeah, men are starting to open up and expressing oneself much more, feeling much more, all of these things. But there's still that ground that we have to look at and understand that we're coming from that place. We're coming from that place. Also, the whole concept that sex is taboo, sex is bad, sex is dangerous, um, sex is a dangerous thing, so you have to be really careful with what you do and who you have sex with and how so there all of these innuendos around sex being something that is actually not a good thing. And we're stuck in this place of, okay, like I'm supposed to be a sexual being, I'm supposed to know what to do, I'm supposed to be able to lead, but at the same time sex is dangerous and I have to be really careful about how to do this, and I have to be careful how to treat this woman. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't be careful, but it's more like I am confined and they're just like this prison that's been shut up. Men's sexuality has just been shut up in this prison. um and the other thing is that men are often taught that sex is more like a conquest. So the conquest being, okay, I get an erection, and then I gotta find a woman who has I gotta get this erection into the vagina, and that, then I've done it, then I'm there. So it's this conquest, as opposed to, and that's very confining in itself, as opposed to all of the other aspects that connect with that. And that sort of comes to what you were saying, Michael, about intimacy. Like, where is the intimacy? Where does that come in? Where is the gentle connection, the body connection, the feeling connection, the energetic connection? It's like, have you had sex yet? Have you had sex with her yet? Have you done it yet? Have you done it yet? It's like this conquest. Did you ever have that kind of feeling come into part of your life, like guys sort of feeling like this conquest of like this, what you have to get? Have you done this yet? Has this been done?
Reminds me of high school. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yes, absolutely.
yeah. And definitely, yeah, more of a high school thing, but I see it in even in 20 and 30-year-old guys, and it's all about the numbers and the conquest, and um
Oh,
they're
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And I still see it in men today that are my
yeah.
age.
Hmm. Yeah. And what about talking about, oh, I just had the most sensual evening with this like that, as opposed to the conquest. which is just like a little tiny part of sexuality. Yes, it's an enjoyable part. Yes, it's a fun part. Yes, it's an exciting part, right? And yes, there's a lot that we have to learn to control before we even get to that part. But that is just a small part of a big, 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 big picture. So it's just, again, like this prison.
Yes, I don't think I've ever been asked by a male friend in my life if we had a uh, if we had a deeply sensual connection or or intimate moment. Just did you score kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. Did you score? Did you score?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So you can see like these beliefs that have caused like these limitations in conversations with each other and then sitting it with yourself like shit, I haven't scored yet. What the hell's wrong with me? Like I gotta go, I gotta get this happening here. Like he's like scored 3 4 times, or he has like sex 4 times, or they're married and they're having sex so many, I don't know, like there's not even maybe that much conversation, but it has been very limiting in what we're talking about with each other when it comes to sex, right? And it's quite unfortunate, but hopefully it's all starting to change, and we're going to break down these these walls of the prison, the bars of the prison, because all of this stuff that I just talked about is just somebody made it up. you know, it's some of it stems from religious institutions, some of it stems from old ideas and fears around sex, controlling populations. It stems from lots of different places, but it's made up stuff. And this is why, again, I say we have to question these things and explore and experiment and decide what is really going to be good for us. But it's good to know some of these base beliefs because they are sometimes you don't know they even exist, that they like that is something that might be holding you back from allowing yourself to be more free.